So I've decided to make a quick guide for people wanting to start Final Fantasy XIV and just go over all the basically everything to do with character creation and like any sort of like things that might come up. But the short answer is that literally nothing you choose to do during character creation actually has gameplay impact. So depending on your race, you'll potentially get different dialogue options, but for actual purposes of gameplay, there is literally no difference. So basically, the first screen you get once you get to create character is you just choose your gender, like your race and gender. So you can just choose whether you want to be human, elf, a potato, a cat person. I don't actually know what Rose is supposed to be. A dragon person, a different sort of cat person, or a bunny person. So, yeah. And plus down behind my face, you can just see different options for like different backgrounds or like poses. Just sort of see what they look like. So let's just go with humans, right? And then the next, every race has two sub-races basically. And they do look a bit different, but usually it's not a huge, like, yeah. And they do have different stats. So that's sort of one of the things, like those stats don't actually matter. So the base stats, if you can see along the side here, they won't change anything by the time you get to like the in-game content, because the amount of stats you get from gear just completely eliminates any sort of effect that you have. Yeah, so there's just some difference, like some will be different heights. So for example, with the humans, the Highlanders have their maximum height is higher, so they get bigger overall. I think they also have freckles. But generally, yeah, so there'll be some aesthetic differences between the two, but the actual stats won't matter. So you can choose that, you can change all basically there's tons of stuff you can change, including voices and stuff, which, yeah, just play around and do what you want to do. And you do have an option to save data, like your appearance data, so you want to make two characters look exactly the same. Or you wanted to design the character you wanted to make later on. You could design it and save it, just not use it. And then you get a bunch of like sort of like fluffy sort of background choices and stuff you can make. And then you get to the class screen. So to start off with, there's 8 classes you can choose. So you have Gladiator and Marauder, which are both tanks. You have Conjurer, who is the only healer you can be to start with. And then there's Thaumaturgus and Arcanist, so the magical DPS. You have Pugilist and Lancer, who are melee DPS, and Arch, who's a ranged DPS. So these choices don't matter, because once you get to level 10, you'll get your level 10 quest from your guild leader for each class. Once you finish that, you'll be able to basically become any other class in the game. There's also including like the crafting classes and stuff as well. Yes, that's basically the only real choices. And you can choose your name and stuff. You can also do randomly generated names, which will be actually on theme as well for character, like for races. Now if we just get out of this and go into the actual game, just to go over a bit more, because there is actually a bit more to the classes as well. Yeah. That level 30, all the starting classes turn into jobs. So you get like, so for example, I'm currently a Gladiator, but once I get to level 30, I'll get a quest what will let me change into a Paladin. And if we go, yeah, go class and job, so yeah. So eventually, so Gladiator become Paladin, Marauder becomes something which like a warrior, Pugilist becomes Monk, Lance becomes Dragoon, Archer becomes Bard, Thaumaturgus becomes Black Mage. Arcanist is interesting. As a level 30, it becomes a Summoner, but you can also become a Scholar, which is the other sort of base game hero class. and when you level up, and they keep the same levels. So like if you're a scholar is level 50, so you're summoner, and conjurer becomes white mage. Also base game, I think you can be a rogue as well, or turn into a ninja, but it doesn't look like a starting class. But then there's other jobs in the game, right? So for example, Dark Knight, Astrologian, and Machinist. So those 3 jobs are Heavensward jobs. So once you get to the big city, like the next sort of the Heavensward main city, there basically you can go and become one of those, so long as you meet the level requirements, as well as all the other jobs. They have a character in the world somewhere, usually in cities, who once you meet the level requirements will train you in becoming that job. Yeah, so I've just gotten onto my main for the purposes of just showing the other jobs. So for example in Udar, I think you might have to finish a main story quest, like the round one, but for example, Way of the Samurai, so this person here is who you talk to become samurai. And Killer Instinct, I think, is the Reaper one. So yeah, so to become a Reaper, you level 60, and to become a samurai, you just need to be level 50. So just need to talk to those characters. But yeah, so just to show you how you can change class, so you'll see all these, for example, are all how you become different classes. You can talk to the right person, usually the guild's receptionist. I'll talk to the conjurer's receptionist. So you just give an option to join, tells you a bunch of stuff, like you talk after them, accept the queen, and then you just go talk to the guildmaster. So once you've finished the very first quest you get from a receptionist to join to become the class, all you have to do is you go to your armory chest. So yeah, so once you equip your main weapon, your primary weapon, you'll just change class. Once you get to jobs, you'll get a soul crystal as well. So for example, once I get white mage, I'll be a conjurer unless I equip the soul crystal. So yeah, that's the one thing. So for example, it is possible for you to forget to, and you'll go into like a level 35 dungeon as like a conjurer or something, and you won't have all the skills. But yeah, so that's basically how simple it is to change class.